Al Mack in the house. What's up, Al?
What's up, man? Yeah, it was another night of dogs and just absolutely crazy. 6 of 10 fights at UFC Vegas 33 were cashed by the underdog with one draw for a profit of 7.8 units on the money line. And now also over the last 2 weeks, the underdog is cashed at a 65% rate. We're talking 13 of the last 21 fights in the UFC have been won by the underdog. And somehow, once again, I took an L tonight, and I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, but we got a really good one next week. But before we talk about next week, we got to go over this pretty entertaining, but also pretty lackluster UFC Vegas 33 card. And the Bellator card was great, and I'm pumped to talk about both of these.
Yeah, Al, I can't believe it. I mean, you're like the underdog guy. I mean, honestly, you probably should have killed it these last couple weeks. Hey, man, it happens, though. Some crazy outcomes. That's just all there is to it, right? Yeah, man, it was a tale, kind of a tale of two stories. UFC, not great for me tonight. Bellator, bust out the brooms, baby. Clean swept it. And I needed that. So we're going to get into it. But, guys, yeah, we're going to kick this off. Basically going to run down things the way it played out tonight. We'll go over the entire UFC card. Then we're going to kick it off, talk about probably some select spots on Bellator. But we're going to get into it. So first fight of the night tonight was Philip Rowe getting that round 2 TKO over your Uriah Hall. Al, man, this one – just a thing of beauty. I hope you guys tuned into the final countdown because I dropped a little bit of a gem on you. You know what I said? I said, Phil Rowe live bet after round 1. And wouldn't you know it, Uriah Hall goes in, looks dominant, looks good in that first round. But it's that Kosi bro cardio. It's got to go. And it did, man. Phil Rowe comes out in round 2, just puts it on Uriah Hall. Lands big knees, big punches, takes him out. A beautiful start to the night for me. Like I said, big plus money live bet hitter. Man, I said to the folks, guys, you got to follow me on Twitter, man. I will consistently tweet out live bets, and I hit these things all the time. And I'm just getting started. I got another one we're going to talk about very soon here. Al, Phil Rowe, the far bigger man, the guy that I felt like was going to be the guy turning it up as the fight went on. Kosi bro cardio, standard stuff. Guys are predominantly first-round fighters. Good first round for Orion. Clearly won the first round. Phil Rowe turns it up on him. Al, what did you think of this one, my man?
I didn't think much of it. It was an interesting start to the night. I thought that my only takeaway of it was I thought that Michael Bisping was kind of coaching from the booth. He when
Bisping
I think it was
the real questionable commentary lately. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I think Kos pulled guard, and Bisping was just like, "No, you can't do that," and he was yelling it like you could hear it from like it was echoey on the broadcast, and it was like you could hear it from the mics in the cage or around the cage, and. Yeah, besides, I don't know. They got to do something about that. It was just, it was interesting. We're getting to the point where it almost seems like the Apex is kind of now outdated because we're seeing all these boxing events and, Bellator tonight and even other UFC events where it's full house. So it just seems like, we're living in the past when we're in these Apex fights now. But I'm not complaining. It's just you got to almost handicap it differently. It's interesting.
Absolutely. Well, let's keep it rolling here. That's your first fight of the night. Phil Rowe cashes as an underdog, and we're going to be talking about a lot of underdogs cashing tonight. Speaking of which, Zarrukh Adashev, unanimous decision win over Ryan Benoit. Listen, guys, I'll put it like this. Ryan Benoit, first off, I had a bet on him, and I'm just incredibly irritated. This little bum goes in here and fights this fight. I mean, Zarrukh Adashev, a limited guy, a kickboxer by trade. What does Ryan Benoit do? Goes in there and kickboxes the kickboxer. I mean, I'm sorry. You deserve to lose. Benoit has the grappling, has the wrestling advantage. Does he use it? No. you know, I'll say this: Zaruk Adashev, crazy good calf kicks. That was pretty much the story of the fight, right? Shuts down Benoit, hurts the leg early and often. Benoit, you know, just couldn't really catch him. You know, Adashev gets on his bike. Adashev wins the fight, pretty clear, 29-28 in my eyes. I will say this though: I tweeted it out. Very popular tweet, lots of likes. I said this: if Zaruk Adashev won this fight tonight. But this is what I said. I said, if Macy Barber last Saturday beat Miranda Maverick, Ryan Benoit beat Zaruk Adashev tonight. If we had consistency in judging, that's how this would have played out. Because I think Ryan Benoit barely edges round 3, but clearly loses the first 2 rounds. Just like Macy Barber, Miranda Maverick. Let's not open that can of worms, though, Al. I went off last Saturday. I'm going to try and tone it back just a little bit. But I tell you what, guess who gets to make a guest appearance yet again? And I'm going to talk about him again, and I'm going to keep talking about him, Sal D'Amato. So we'll get there, folks. Don't you worry. I got some words from my boy Sal yet again. Al, what'd you think of this one, dude?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I was on Benoit too, and I don't know. Zaruk Adashev, he just runs. The entire fight is just running. He engages, and then he disengages, he circles back, and that's all he does. I just don't understand why the judges were awarding that. You know, like 2:30-27s. I don't want to just turn this show into constantly, you know, bitching about the judges, but I didn't see 30-27 there. I saw Benoit landing some big shots in that opening round, and it was just Adashev is running the whole fight, and it was extremely frustrating to watch. And you know, Benoit, bad fight IQ, could have took him down, didn't. Could have closed the distance, didn't. I don't know what it is. This is a guy who's got a win over Sergio Pettis.
Yeah. And very close split decision losses over very high level guys.
Yeah, and he's got to go. Like there's no way the UFC keeps him around after that.
That's a wrap. Yeah, with the weight misses, blah blah blah. Terrible fight IQ. Honestly, I'm done talking about the little bum Ryan Benoit. Props to Adashev backers. You know, I talked earlier tonight on the Final Countdown. There were a few people on Adashev, and it was less, I love Adashev as an underdog and more of a fade on Benoit. That was the angle, and congrats, you were right. This dude's got the fight IQ of Ryan Benoit, a 10-8 fighter who's no longer in the UFC. So we'll keep it rolling. Here we go, baby. Jin Yu Fry, unanimous decision win over Ashley Yoder. Al, man, this is a fight that we kind of touched on last week, and we talked about, you know, Yoder going to have the length, the size advantage here. Man, this was one that, you know, I dug in. I watched the tape, and I ended up on the other side. I said, Jin Yu Fry, I'm going to pick her to win. But you know what? I did not have a pre-bet fight on Jin in this spot. However, halfway through the first round, you know, I fired out the tweet as soon as I locked in the bet. I just felt like Jin Yu Fry was the more powerful, more impactful striker. Yoder was not having success with the grappling whatsoever. Yeah, Al, I thought this was, don't get me wrong, a close 30-27, but I thought the judges got this one right. I had Jin Yu Fry winning this one 30-27, hopped off the live bet, plus money live bet. They still essentially had her listed at the opener price underdog, and I just needed to see about 2 or 3 minutes of this fight, and it was apparent, even though she's the, quote, smaller fighter, right, just a more powerful, better striker overall. Ashley Yoder in the second round had a good minute where she just, like, spammed 1-2s and really landed a lot of them, and it was a little bit confusing. I'm like, yo, you want to not keep eating those? And luckily, Ashley Yoder just doesn't even go back to the well. I don't know, man. Another fighter, Ashley Yoder, who I'm not going to be surprised if her next stop's Invicta. I'm not even sure if Bellator is interested. We might be talking LFA. Who knows? I mean, I was going to say BKFC, but I don't even know if she wants to do that. At the same time, she's probably good enough to beat Paige Van Zandt. But Jin Yu Fry comes in here. I'm going to say a fairly solid performance outside of eating some big shots round 2. Another beautiful live betting opportunity. And I hope some of you guys who follow me on Twitter jumped on board, man. Al, what'd you think? What'd you have?
Yeah, I had Jinh Yu Frey, and honestly, I had to do a complete 180 from where I was at last weekend. One of those spots where my gut was wrong, and it was the numbers all day, except for that one little spot that Yoder. It was like she was on like UFC 3 or UFC 4, where she was just doing the front YB combo, just the over and over again, that overhand right. Just spamming it, and yeah, it was weird. It was like sometimes like fighters, they don't do that when they should. Like I remember seeing Phil Haas do that, where just like, you know, spamming the same combination over and over again, and sometimes it works for people, but it's just like, I don't know, kind of low level ish. But yeah, it just came down to the fact that Ashley Yoder's gone to decision in every fight that she's ever been in the UFC, and Jinh Yu Frey was at like plus 240 to win by decision here.
Beautiful.
So I was thinking, like, if it's a pre-gone conclusion that this fight is going to go the distance, it's a lot closer than what the odds indicate. The play was the decision play, and yeah, as I said, Ashley Yoder's went to decision in every fight that she's had. And if you've backed every one of her opponents to win by decision since her last 9 fights, you're up $628 because she's lost 6 of her last 9 fights by decision. So she's just dropping decisions. Even in fights, like, I don't think she looked terrible. She just lost. You know what I mean?
Like I said, man, a close 30, probably as close as a 30-27 gets, but I still think that was the right scorecard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't see, you know, there was a lot of bad scorecards tonight, but I don't think that was one of them. Yeah, I thought it was pretty clear. And, you know, when Yoder was landing, she wasn't necessarily hurting Jinh Yu Frey, but when Frey was landing, it was clear she was hurting Ashley Yoder. So
Yeah,
had her
definitely
wobble back a couple of times there. And yeah, one of the rare, you know, spots where I zigged where I should have zigged. Rather, like, you know, the gut call was incorrect, went over the numbers and switched sides here. And yeah, it was one of the only bright spots of the night for me.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, man, let's keep it rolling here. All right, our fourth fight of the night, Danny Chavez, Kai Kamaka III. It's a draw. I got to be honest, man. In a way, I'm almost proud of the judges here. I'm almost proud. I mean, draw is probably the right look. I thought there's maybe even a chance you edge Danny Chavez, but with the way the commentary seemed to believe Kai Kamaka is just dominating this fight, we're probably lucky to come out with a draw situation here. You know, coming into this fight, I said, this is a 50-50 fight. I'll take the guy with the plus money number next to his name. That was Danny Chavez. You know, Kai Kamaka had some success. Again, calf kick in his way, man. I thought I was about to get calf kicked to 2 L's. Man, terrible eye poke. Danny Chavez, you really got to give this guy credit for continuing. That was a horrendous eye poke. I'm impressed with his ability to overcome that eye poke, honestly, that quickly. Then we have a big cup shot. I will say this. Here's where the controversy for me comes into this spot. Herb Dean tells Kai Kamaka, final hard warning, next time it's going to be more than just a point. Okay, well, a minute later, we get a tremendous cup shot. And what does Herb, not man of his word, Dean, do? Takes 1 point. Herb, you just told us, you told the world it's going to be more than 2. Man, I thought at one point Danny Chavez wasn't even going to continue, though. The point taken gives us 28-28 on 2 judges' scorecards. One judge goes 29-27, Kai Kamaka, which is kind of a head scratcher there. I don't agree with that. But, hey, man, Danny Chavez, the adversity he went through, man, I'll take the push any day in that spot. So I said it was a 50-50 fight. My God, was it literally a draw? Al, what did you think?
Yeah, I was on Danny Chavez too, and I had fight goes the distance. Yeah, I thought he was. I was doing the results, and I thought for sure he wasn't going to come back from that eye poke. Definitely props to him. That looked really bad. And one thing I got to mention is once again them putting the clock on the screen for the 5-minute rule that does not exist. That there's still confusion here. Where why do we even need to see how much time is like. I thought at one point Herb Dean was going to be like, you know what, we're going to go to commercial. We'll come back and we'll see. Like they got to just start doing that. Like have do like what AEW does and just have like the pitcher in pitcher. Like, oh, we got an eye poke. We got an eye poke commercial break. We'll be right back.
Oh, Al, don't give him any ideas, dude.
No, but I don't know. That was one of the rare times that they did it properly. You know what I mean? It was Herb Dean. It was that same goofy doctor, and they did a good job, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
But
here's interesting, though. Okay, they brought in the water. Am I mistaken? Is this the first time we've ever seen the idea of let this guy splash some water in the eye and clear the eye? I don't remember this at any time, and it seemed to tremendously help Danny Chavez recover, getting some water in that eye. It looked like we were going to get essentially like the Andre Fili, Daniel Pineda scenario where Chavez looks like he physically, literally is fighting like, his subconscious instinct. And I didn't think he was going to be able to open that eye. I thought that eye was going to be squinted shut until they got him in the back and he had an hour or two to let it like finally relax. Man, they get the water in the eye and it's like just brings Danny Chavez back to life. I'll be honest, man, there was a point with the eye poke where, it looked so bad and he reacted so dramatically, right? I thought there was some serious damage. I wouldn't be surprised if there is serious damage. Danny Chavez is just a freaking warrior and a stud, you know what I mean? But, I was almost saying to myself, Danny, dude, like you're eating a lot of leg kicks, bro. That calf is not looking good. This might be a spot where you give him the benefit of the doubt. He says, I can't continue, and we get a no contest, right? Yeah. Nonetheless, same situation, right? A no contest, a draw. What's the difference, man? So there you go. Danny Chavez, Kai Kamaka, a draw. I think we probably see these guys run this one back. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This card seemed like it was just like you said, a take out the trash type card where I feel like a draw saved both of these guys their jobs. Like one of these guys was probably going to get cut, to be completely honest. And I feel like a draw kind of saved their position.
Hey, Al, maybe you're right. I mean, neither one on a real tremendous losing streak. And I will say this, both guys do go out there and bring it. The UFC likes action fighters, So I think win or lose, both guys probably would have got a second chance. But yeah, a draw. I mean, hey, listen, you got to put it like this. Neither guy's on a losing streak anymore, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Hey, you got to take a draw over an L any day. The way that fight played out. If you're on the Chavez side, you're probably feeling okay with the push there. I know I was. So let's keep it rolling here. We are up to, buddy, Al, this is where shit just started hitting the fan and where I think the night turned for a lot of people based off, a lot of the sharp dudes that I talked to on Twitter. This is one that not a lot of people got right, man. Chris Gruetzemacher comes out, wins a unanimous decision over Rafa Garcia. I think Rafa Garcia parlayed. I had Rafa Garcia parlayed straight up, okay? I think Rafa Garcia inside the distance was a real popular play this week amongst, like I said, the sharper guys out there. Man, Rafa basically looks like he has Chris Gruetzemacher out of there like a minute into the fight. Lands a huge shot, sends him reeling backwards, big knockdown. Looks like he's jumping on him to finish him. Chris Gruetzemacher's just too damn tough. This dude just takes it on the chin, works his way back up, and I don't know. Rafa Garcia just did not have that pace, that cardio, and that output. Chris Gruetzemacher comes back, wins round 2, wins round 3. I think the judges probably got this one right. It was a fairly close fight. But man, Gruetzemacher, like I said, just the toughness, kind of goes out here and pulls a Darren Elkins tonight and beats Rafa Garcia, a minus 325 by the time this fight went off favorite. Definitely took a shit in all the parlays, I think, for everybody. Chris Gruetzemacher, big old dog. Cash is here. Al, what did you think? What did you have?
Well, I mean, if a lot of sharps are on Gruetzemacher, were on Garcia inside the distance, I guess I'm not a sharp because I had Gruetzemacher and I had fight goes the distance.
Nice. Just good stuff. Hey, contrarian effort pays off,
Just one of those spots where the line just got out of hand, and I had to come in on the other side. The fight goes the distance. I know I don't have the number in front of me, but the lightweight division with these lower ranked or non-ranked lightweights, they go over the total like crazy at like a 67% rate. So that was a part of my handicapping too. And yeah, pretty much there was a point in the fight where I feel like Garcia he was becoming frustrated because he knew that he wasn't going to be able to put Gruetzemacher away. And the dude is super tough. And this is another, I feel like this was like cut-o-mania tonight, but this is another one of those fights where, they definitely didn't want Gruetzemacher to win. If he lost, he probably would have got cut. He probably saved his job. And I don't think Garcia's going anywhere. So this is another fight where, these two guys probably saved their. Well, I mean, I don't think if Garcia lost, I don't think he would have been in any trouble. But Gruetzemacher for sure. He's like, I think he's turns 37 this year. He's super old guy. So good for him, man. That was a good performance. That was the type of performance, like just his toughness, just his putting his chin on display. That's the type of thing that the UFC sees, and they're like, we can give this guy we can we can turn this guy into a gatekeeper, where he ends up just getting knocked out by some prospect or something like that. But it keeps him in the UFC. So all the power to him, man.
Yeah, you got to give him credit. I think you're right, Al. I don't think he had won a fight since like 2016. Very inactive, very old. He needed this win. I mean, real bad. Rafa Garcia, 2-fight losing streak now. It's hard to hold the first one against him. Short notice against Nasrat Haqparast. A stud, young up-and-comer. You don't really, that's a loss officially, but, that's the one where he kind of got the foot in the door. This one's not good, though, man. This one, I don't know if he had a full training camp, but this was kind of one of those spots where they're like, yeah, we're trying to build up Rafa Garcia. This will be Gruetzemacher's kick out the door. Not how it played out, man. Props to people out. Great spot on Gruetzemacher. And again, that over too, man. Good stuff. So, all right, let's keep it rolling here, folks. And hey, you want to talk big dog upsets yet again? And honestly, man, this had to be the freaking fight of the night. Jason Witt with the majority decision over Bryan Barberena in what was just, an action-packed slugfest. The amount of knockdowns between these guys. Jason Witt scoring knockdowns. Jason Witt's fragile chin being tested. He's being rocked. 15 seconds left in the fight. This dude's so rocked and out of it, he's walking around trying to pick his mouthpiece up off the floor while Bryan Barberena is just teeing off on him. This is one, again, I think the judges got it right. Somehow Jason Witt comes out here, eats the shots of Bryan Barberena, gets hurt 5, 6, 7 times, but hangs on. Uses his path to victory, which was to out-wrestle Bryan Barberena. And I got to be honest, I thought Bryan Barberena was going to deal much better with the takedowns and the wrestling of Jason Witt. I thought that Bryan Barberena absolutely was going to test the chin. But you know what, Al? I had Rafa Garcia and Bryan Barberena parlayed up. And it is like the biggest glitch in the matrix. First off, almost never do I lose my 2-fighter parlay on a UFC card. But when I do, when I lose the first leg, there's this rift in the matrix. 2021, it's 100%. It's 100%. I've only lost this bet 3 times this year, okay? Rafa Garcia's leg 1, and I don't know what it is, but it is a fact. It is statistically 100% accurate. Leg 2 is doomed. So coming in, I said, wow, this is not going to bode well for Bryan Barberena, and I could not have been more spot on. Jason Witt goes out there, clearly wins the first 2 rounds using the wrestling. You know, I tweeted out, Bryan Barberena out here with the takedown defense of a Confederate statue in 2021. This dude's getting taken down all over the place, right? Just unreal, man. Barberena had his chances. Had Witt hurt time and time again. At the same time, Witt is dropping Bryan Barberena 3 or 4 times in the fight. Just an absolute slobber knocker. Great fight. Al, you want to talk about a job-saving performance? The Vanilla Gorilla, Jason Witt, my man saved his career on this one, and I gotta give the props to him. I don't know if anybody out there in the world bet Jason Witt. Al, maybe you can go contrarian here again. Al, what did you think of this one, dude?
This was super frustrating because Barberena was one of my. I had Barberena in a parlay with Ashley Yoder and Jinyu Frey to go the distance, and I thought it was. You know, if that bet cashes tonight, my night probably goes a little bit better. Yeah, man, it was just super frustrating. Yeah, I thought the right fighter won, but I will say this. If you look at the scorecards, not to, hamper on the scorecards again, you look at the scorecard, every single judge scored it differently. One judge had it 28-28, one judge had it 29-27, and one judge had it 29-28. So that means that one of those rounds had to have been a 10-8. How does that make sense? 29-27?
One judge gave
Barberena 10-8.
No, they gave Witt a 10-8 round 2.
How do you feel about that? Does that make sense?
Al, I mean, I'd have to watch the fight back, dude. At this point, I'll put it like this. I think the right man won. I think they got it right. Yeah. Again, how's that a 10-8 and Kyler Phillips round 1 over Paiva's not? It's just, Al, we could get into that debate just all night. What is a 10-8 and what isn't? Vanilla Gorilla gets the win here against Bryan Barberena. I felt like Bryan Barberena was going to look good here. And, man, did his takedown defense get exposed. It's out there, folks. Bryan Barberena, at this point in his career, has gone out there and fought mainly dudes who are going to go toe-to-toe and bang it out with him, right? And he's had mixed results. Homeboy got exposed, man, and it's going to be a rough going if they give him guys that have any sort of a wrestling ability. Because I'm not sure if there was literally a takedown he successfully defended. His get-up game was okay at times, but, man, props to Witt. Again, a job-saving effort. Is there anything you have to say about this one, Al?
I think you got to – this is a solid spot going forward to fade Jason Witt because I think he's obviously going to get a – actually, I can't imagine him being any more than a big underdog again in his next fight. But and then as far as Bryan Barberena goes, I don't know what they do with him. I think they're just getting him to fight out his contract. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him in Bellator or XMMA or something like that.
Sounds about right to me. The guy had major back issues. Before the fight starts off, they're like, hey, check out that scar where this guy had life-saving surgery 6 months ago, and now he's here to perform at the highest level of MMA. You know what I mean? This dude has just gone through the ringer. I think we've absolutely seen the best of Bryan Barberena. And, again, Jason Witt, not the most durable dude. Did he hold up tonight? Yeah. Barely. I mean, barely. There had to be – I'll put it like this. If you had Barberena in anything, if you had Barberena inside the distance, you had Barberena KO, there had to be 10 times you were up on your feet yelling at the screen, watching the TV, the computer, whatever you're watching this on, saying, dude, jump on this guy. He's rocked. He's hurt. I mean, Witt's turning around. He's stumbling around. Hey, listen, though, from an entertainment standpoint, absolutely an exciting fight. I don't know if they got 50 grand, but I would imagine they did. That
I'm gonna check.
I don't know how you don't give that one fight of the night. But yeah, Al, while you're checking that out, let's move on here. Okay, so to kick off, that's how we kicked off the main card. I got to give him props on that one, man. That was a good one to get us started here. All right, folks. I tell you what, man. This one right here, this one your boy nailed. Melsik Baghdasaryan goes out there and just, I mean, I don't know if you can call it a clean KO, TKO, whatever you want to call it, but he head kicks Colin Anglin right in the side of his head. And you know what? I'll keep it real with you guys. I tweeted this out. People loved it. I said, Colin Anglin, the second they showed this guy getting ready to start the fight, I go, man, that is the literally the most dopey fuckboy haircut I've ever seen someone attempt to step into the octagon with. Sir, this is a fight, not a TikTok video. I knew his head was getting kicked off. You can't show up with a haircut like that, my man, and go in here against a guy like Melsik Baghdasaryan. Melsik does what he does, which is goes out there and lays the wood upside fools' heads. Melsik Baghdasaryan, you know, a guy that had a ton of 30-second KOs. Like I talked about it on my prediction video early this week. You know, the guy's now 6-1, right? Was 5-1 coming in, and all of his wins are just just incredibly short fights. You know, we saw him on Contender Series. We saw he could go 3 rounds. Does slow down and did slow down a little bit here, but you know, I think he shored up that area of the game. Again, though, how are you going to knock a guy for going out there and blowing through the competition in 30 seconds, right? But man, we know that cage time is valuable. Colin Anglin, you know, I thought he was going to get outstruck here. He did. He does hit one takedown, but the get-up game of Melsik Baghdasaryan, pretty on point. I tell you what, man, Melsik shores up continues to work on that takedown defense like he has. The get-up game's absolutely improved. I like this kid quite a bit, man. 145, all action, a finisher, KOs, head kicks. Lot to like here about Melsik Baghdasaryan. I cashed that ticket on him. Easy work. Al, what did you think? What'd you have?
Yeah, so Jason Witt and Brian Barberena did get fight of the night, and then performance of the night was Melsik Baghdasaryan, and yeah, he was really good. I had the over. I thought there was some value on the over in this fight, over 1.5 rounds, just because he's gone out there and finished fights incredibly fast, and I thought maybe, you know, coming into this spot that the fight's not going to go as quick as we thought, and you know, that worked out for about 7 minutes, and then a minute 50 into the second round, he catches him with just an unreal head kick. And then there was one thing, he did something, I don't know, did you see that open hand slap? Did you see him do that?
Oh, he did. He hit it like 2 or 3 times in a row.
And then he also did the at McDonald's, like in line at a busy McDonald's where a fight breaks out at 3 a.m. move, where he like held Anglin by the top of the head and like hit him like Andre the Giant. Like
now you're talking my language, Al.
And very unorthodox striking, like very weird, very I mean, it works for him. And I guess this guy's another one of those Ronda Rousey prospects. I think Ronda Rousey is his agent. Him and Edmund Shabazian and all those.
For better or worse, right? For better or worse.
But he's the real deal, I think. Like,
yeah. Hey, man, absolutely. You know, and hey, we got to give a big shout out, man, from Fresno, hitting us with the 420. You know, we see what you did there. The super chat. You guys are the best, man. We appreciate you guys. We're so glad that you guys enjoy the show. But yeah, man, you know, as far as the smacks go and some of the, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like the theatrics of Melsik was, the guy's just comfortable in there. You know what I mean? When you're out here open hand slapping fools, it's not because you're in a tough fight. It's because you're confident, you found your groove, and you're just looking to add a little wow factor, just kind of sprinkle something. And I got to keep it honest. Those smacks were legit. Don't think this guy catching you with the butt of his palm across the head ain't hurting. It really is. Al, phenomenal reference there. The 3 a.m. McDonald's Andre the Giant. Sounds like something that I came up with myself. All right, Colin Anglin, not a good look, dude. You needed to wrestle your way to a victory here. Melsik Bagdasaryan goes out there, just handles his business. Like I said, man, I'm high on this kid. If he can be one of these guys, evolve into a more well-rounded guy, not just be a kickboxer. One thing I will say that had me concerned, the guy claims he came in here not watching no tape. Dog, I don't care if it's boring. I don't care how confident you are in your kickboxing. He's like, he's talking after the fight. I've been in 800 kickboxing matches. I don't know if my opponent, tall, short, fast, slow, but all this. I'm like, yeah, dude, we're at literally the peak of combat sports here. Yeah, Edmund, get your boy in there, get on the YouTube, and maybe let this guy know who he's fighting. I mean, I get the concept, right? He just doesn't even think it matters. He's going to go in there and do what he does. I can't agree, though. As a matter of fact, I've debated offering a service because we see it time and time again where fighters and coaches and camps show up to a fight and seem to believe their fighter is the better fighter in this area of the game. And I'm sorry, that's not the case. I don't have any biases. I watch the tape. I will tell you straight to your face, you are not the better striker. You are not the better grappler. And it just blows my mind at 2021. We see so many teams and fighters kind of drinking their own Kool-Aid. And it's not a good look when there's a strategic, Ryan Benoit, like I said earlier, the guy goes out there and fights a strictly kickboxer in a kickboxing match. Bro, what'd you think was going to happen? You gave the guy the only chance he had to win the fight was you go out there and do that. So you deserve to lose. It's that simple, It is what it is, Al. Melsik Bagdasaryan, guys, keep your eyes open. Let's get him turned around quick. It was a long time off from Contender Series. I say let's book him another fight here in 3 months, another prospect, whoever. I need to see more of this kid because I'm highly interested. All right, here we go. We are up to Al, man. I tell you what, guys, I missed a tasty spot here. Did I have my reasons? Did I have good? I'm going to call it good bet discipline, but it cost me a good bet win here. Jared Gordon on 3 days' notice punches Nicholas Stolze. The how this guy was such a huge favorite. I mean, it had to be the fact that Jared Gooden's coming in here on a losing streak, on short notice. But these numbers don't jive. And honestly, guys, sometimes that's enough to pull the trigger. This fight wasn't even announced until I had done my prediction video, right? Someone in the comments, they go, who do you like? Gooden versus Stolze. I said, I like Gooden. I don't understand this number. If you're betting aside, it's Gooden. Is he probably going to lose? I guess so. He's not known for great cardio, great gas tank, short notice. How ready is he going to be? Well, my man's an absolute train, just jacked. I mean, USADA's got to be looking at this guy like, man, I don't know about that. But Jared Gooden comes in here. This had to be the shortest punch that I've ever seen put somebody down in the UFC. I mean, like technically not great, not a beautiful punch, but just pure explosiveness on the face of Nicholas Stolze, drops him down. The head clacks off the mat, jumps on him, lands a couple shots. The ref said, we're done here. This was all one-way traffic, basically a non-event. Jared Gooden smokes Nicholas Stolze, who I just don't know what to think of, but man, a terrible look. Jared Gooden, again, Al, we're going to keep talking about it. A guy who literally said earlier this week in an interview, I love that the fact that my job's on the line here and I'm coming in on 3 days notice. From a strategic standpoint, from a career standpoint, this was not the smartest move there's ever been to basically lay it all on the line and only have 3 days to prepare. Jared Gooden comes in here, puts on a show, 1 minute, 8 seconds, smokes Nicholas Stolze, who I don't know what to say about this guy, but I know what to say about Jared Gooden. This guy touches you early. Prepare to take a nap. Al, what'd you think?
Yeah, I was on Gooden, and I got to give props to Dan from the Half the Battle podcast, Best Fight Picks. He talked me into Jared Gooden here because I just thought Stolze, it was not baked into the line that the German was, getting ready for a different fight, basically getting ready for a completely different opponent. And Gooden at plus 180 was just the type of bet where it doesn't win or lose. You're on the right side of the value there. You're on the right side of implied probability. And this was just, it couldn't have gone any better for him. And so Bagdasaryan was actually the first favorite of the night to cash. Gooden now, in the next fight, cashes at plus 180. And the underdog in the welterweight division is cashed at a 39% rate, which isn't spectacular since January of 2019, 66 and 104 for plus 7.25 units. And these trends, the trends translate better when you get these types of fights where it's like a guy trying to break into the UFC against, they're both unranked fighters trying to break in. It's just you're just capitalizing on the mistake that the people who are setting the odds are making. And this was, you could tell it opened at plus 180, and you could just see it slowly creeping closer to closer, like plus 140, where it eventually closed. The secret was out, and I saw that Gooden called out Mike Perry, and I think that's a pretty decent fight for him. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love it. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, hey, we got to give shout outs, Big Dan Levy down there in the ATL. And you know what? I believe that's where Gooden's from. They're down there. I'm sure he's got the pimp cup out in the club. They're bumping the Lil Jon. They're bumping the Yin Yang Twins. And sometimes you just got to back your hometown guy, and it's going to pay off big. Gooden saves his job. Let's get him in there, man. I just couldn't figure out. It's like you said, man, this was just the value side. And regardless of the parameters, regardless of the short notice, that's the side you just got to have your money on, man. It's just that simple in this game. Gooden with the career-saving KO. Back on track. Let's get him booked. Let's get him a full fight camp, and let's really see what this guy's about. A loss to Abubakar Nurmagomedov. Let's keep it real. You're gonna beat a Nurmagomedov? Probably not. Which, hey, we're gonna be talking about them Nurmagomedovs once we get to Bellator, aren't we? But yeah, man, Jared Gooden gets on track. Beautiful performance. Probably looking to get the quick turnaround because the dude took no damage. Unless he hurt his hand knocking Stoltze's head off. But I think he's good to go, man. He's probably actually at an after party right now, probably getting ready to fight somebody. So props to them. Props to you, Al, backing on a good spot. Definitely a good one here. Let's keep it rolling, folks. We are up to somehow a fight that ended up as our co-main event. Cheyanne Buys, 1 minute into the first round, kicks Gloria de Paula's head off. Just straight up. Gloria, I felt like landed a good shot early that backed up Buys, had her blinking, and I felt like Gloria de Paula had this fight played out longer, was the better striker. I had nothing on this fight. I couldn't bet on this one. Why? Because Gloria de Paula, with just the atrocious takedown defense, and it was exposed right away, Cheyanne Buys takes her down with just utter ease. Gloria gets back to her feet. Man, I'll tell you what, Cheyanne Buys, we're talking a millisecond away from that KO starting sequence kick being illegal. It could not have been closer. Sure enough, she just times it perfectly. An absolute clapper to the head of de Paula. Finishes up with strikes. Referee Mark Smith, even as Cheyanne Buys is just pounding on Gloria's face, you see him turn to the replay official and give him the, hey, run that one back, man. That looked close to me. That might have been illegal. Man, by the narrowest margins, a perfect kick. Cheyanne Buys wins this fight. The move to Vegas. She's not going to have to follow this bitch home tonight. It's a $50K bonus, which, she talked about the debt she's gone into, all that stuff, man, pays off. You got to be thrilled for her, right? Of course, unless you bet Gloria de Paula. But Yeah, Cheyanne Buys, man, she gets it done here. Phenomenal performance. What can you say? Al, what'd you think of this one?
Yeah, it was super impressive. I had the over. I was not. I don't know why I had the over because there's a stat here that just blows my mind. But yeah, I feel like that was very poor IQ from De Paula. Like almost like Mai Tai, like she's gonna let her get back up before she starts throwing again. Like you gotta roll out in that situation. You gotta cover your head, you gotta roll out, you gotta do something. You can't just come back like you're in a karate fight or something where they're gonna let you get back to your feet before you start throwing again. I thought that was just like a lapse in judgment, like you don't see that very often where somebody just gets caught like that. It's like that was quite. It was just it's a rare thing. And then I was talking about this with some guys on Twitter. People always see these fights and they're they think, oh, this one's for sure going to go to the distance. But this stat blows my mind. Okay, from January of 2020. The under in the strawweight division has gone 18-26 for plus 10.3 units. That's just, we're talking about almost 50%. We're talking about a 40% win rate on the under tonight cashed at plus 305. Like it's just I kick myself because I had the over in this one in one of my parlays, and I was just more looking at how Buys in her last couple fights was just she's a decision machine. She goes the distance a lot. So does De Paula, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be a boring fight, and I did not handicap that the chance of her landing that get up head kick. So yeah, kicking myself on that one, but props to I seen that there was quite a few people that had the under in this one. I don't know, I just didn't see it, but yeah, look at those strawweight, especially with I think that UFC really likes Cheyanne Buys. I don't know exactly what they are seeing in her, but
probably her marketability.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, De Paula's got that marketability too. It's just that
they kind of look like they were like twins almost. They looked like it was like the Spider-Man meme. They had the same exact hair. It was interesting. But yeah, I don't know how. I thought honestly, if they were going to put a women's fight as the co-main event, I thought Ashley Yoder, Jinyu Frey, highlight reel KO for Cheyanne Buys. But I thought as far as just I don't know. They really like this girl. I don't know what it is, but yeah, they quite like her. And I don't know when we're going to see JP Buys again, but yeah, they seem to really like her. So I don't know. Maybe we can get her the rematch with Montserrat Ruiz.
Yeah, well, sheesh, man. As bad as that went, I mean, would it probably play out different? Yeah. Man, Gloria de Paula really screwed up. Didn't even attempt that schoolyard headlock one time. And that's just how you beat Cheyanne Buys, right? But let's keep it rolling here. Like I said, somehow that was our main event. I don't know if the UFC has a crystal ball or what, but it ended up playing out, for as long as it lasted, 1 minute. Pretty good fight. A lot of action. So, all right, here we go. The main event. Oh, man, Al. This is one, I said – the odds are Sean Strickland probably comes in here, probably just uses the output, probably outpoints Uriah Hall. And boy, did he. But you know what? I said to myself, Uriah Hall, the guy's dangerous. A lot of kicks. One-shot KO stopping power. Man, your boy might have got baited on this one. I had Uriah Hall. I felt like I was probably on the value side, but in all actuality, hindsight's 20/20. And Sean Strickland looked every bit of a minus 200 or better favorite here. Uriah Hall doesn't use enough kicks, doesn't use enough strategy, really. I don't know why he never tested the leg kick of a upright, plodding Sean Strickland. I don't know why he thought he should get in a a jabbing contest with a guy who has, at this point, some of the best strict boxing in the UFC. I mean, Sean Strickland, man, you let this guy stand in front of you at range, he's going to pop you with shots over and over and over. You know, he's like, I talked about it, you know, on my breakdown video. This guy's a Terminator, comes forward, just keeps throwing shots out there. They're not the hardest shots in the world, but he's got a lightning quick jab. His shoulder roll ability, you know, you throw back at him, you know, like I said, the hands are low. The head is upright. The head movement's not great. It's just his ability to ward off shots and not eat anything clean. And I got to say, man, just a super solid performance from Sean Strickland here. And I do think somebody's going to exploit this guy's style at some point. Uriah Hall just was not that guy. Sean Strickland, man, pretty clean performance. I feel like Sean Strickland, one of his best abilities is the fact that it's just so hard to catch this guy clean. It seems like it shouldn't be that hard, but again, he's just really not there to be hit. Great countering. He's got you on the back foot, always coming forward. Like I said, the output's just ridiculous. I mean, the amount of punches he threw in the first round to be able to continue, which don't get me wrong, the numbers did taper off, but the guy went 25 solid minutes, even showed some good grappling, some wrestling, some good jiu-jitsu at times. Sean Strickland, this is a weird dude with a unique style, and it's going to be tough to figure out how far he can go with it, but a win over Uriah Hall, I mean, a dominant win. Who is going to be the guy to come in here and beat Sean Strickland, man? I don't know. He's reinvigorated at middleweight. It's crazy to think he was a welterweight because, you know, he essentially had every bit the same size as Uriah Hall. You know, maybe not quite as dense, maybe not quite as much muscle, but damn, Sean Strickland, impressive stuff, man. Al, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, I was with you. I had Hall too. Oh man, he's a slow starter, and he's always been a slow starter. But this was like, it looked like he was having a tough time getting going, like upwards into the third round. Like his body language, just brutal. He looked like he aged substantially since, you know, even since the Silva fight. And then as far as Strickland goes, Strickland looked great. But I got to say, I had the fight goes the distance no at like a nice minus 155. I thought it was a very solid bet here. Sean Strickland, I don't know what he was thinking, but and I talk about this all the time. Every single time that he had Uriah Hall hurt, he went for the takedown. He went to grapple with him, and that's kind of Hall was able to counter the grappling, and it just kind of like
and survive.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was, but it just continuously happened. Every single he did it like 3 or 4 times where he had him hurt against the fence, and instead of just going off, he shot for a takedown, or he went for the underhooks or the overhooks. Like, I don't know what he just trying to go. And I understand if that's the case. I don't think Strickland has ever gone 5 rounds. So, I mean, if he was just out there doing the Islam Makhachev type thing where he just wanted to get the, you know, the cage time, I mean, I guess that's cool, but it was extremely frustrating because I wanted to at least salvage something out of this fight and possibly cash the fight goes the distance no. But it looked like Strickland was just content to go out there and get a 50-45 decision. And then, yeah, he's got his style is just like, you can never teach anybody this style. Like, he uses that like Floyd Mayweather Philly shell, but he does it in orthodox, and he'll throw punches like he throws punches like this. Like, he throws punches out of his, like, with you said, like the shoulder roll. He'll counter with like this, you know, he throws punches just like, I don't, like, it's almost like Sambo style. He's got the weirdest, most unorthodox, and his striking style is so good because it's so good for his defense. Like, he keeps his shoulders up and he keeps both of his hands tight, and I heard Uriah Hall say during media week that he was sloppy. And I feel like I even saw like Dan Hardy in his breakdown said that he thought that Strickland had a sloppy or frustrating style. And I feel like it looks frustrating and it looks sloppy, but what he's doing in there is it's fine tuned, and he just looked comfortable, right? Like he looked very comfortable in there, cashed as a -200 betting favorite. So some money must have come in on Hall pretty late. And at +260 to win by decision, he's 11-3 now in the UFC, and then 7-4 on, so 7 of his 11 wins by decision for +7.65 units on the decision prop in his career and in the UFC. And I think the fight is Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland and him would be a perfect matchup. What do you think?
I mean, I definitely think that would be exciting. Kevin Holland probably wouldn't need to worry too much about his porous takedown defense. At the same time, if Strickland was smart, he'd probably test it. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think Sean Strickland, he needs somebody way higher up the ranks than a Kevin Holland. He needs a legit guy. I think at this point Strickland's earned a top 10 guy. What was Uriah Hall ranked coming into this fight? He may have been in the top 10 or just at the cusp. I think he was ranked though for sure.
8th. He was ranked 8th.
There you go.
Strickland was ranked 11th.
Yeah. So Strickland right there, man, he's at least getting that number 8 spot. I mean, it's probably not crazy to think he gets a top 5 guy. He's probably earned it. I mean, that was a dominant performance. And yeah, I mean, I got to tell you right now, there had to be if you were on the under, you had to be screaming at the TV, jumping up and down. If you were on Strickland inside the distance, you had to be screaming, jumping up and down. I mean, probably just all in all, infuriating fight to watch for gamblers in general, unless you had Sean Strickland by decision. And even then, you were sweating how many times because it looked like Hall was getting ready to pull the quit job or just get finished or even just outright quit. So, yeah, man, Sean Strickland, just so unique. You can't give me one guy who you can say, oh, that's very Sean Strickland-esque. This guy's a lot like Sean Strickland. It's just not even. The guy's got a weird personality. He's got a weird style. Like I said, flat-footed, plodding, hands low, head upright, but good luck hitting this guy with a solid shot. It seems like he's there to be hit, and he's just not. And good luck replicating, bringing in someone who's going to give you a Sean Strickland style. It's just so unorthodox. I don't know. Is this guy really going to weirdo his way into a top 5 fight and potentially win? I mean, like I said, I don't know. But at this point, Sean Strickland he comes out of this fight with Uriah Hall. I mean, the guy didn't have a scratch on him, right? And Uriah Hall is a devastating, powerful guy. Even when Uriah would throw a leg kick, I felt like that was something he'd really be able to exploit here. Sean Strickland, it's like he knows it's coming. It seems like he's heavy on that front leg every time Uriah would throw it. I mean, it's like he knew Uriah was getting ready to throw it, lift that front leg. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, but Strickland, I think if you watch Strickland on social media, I think he's a very old school vibe guy. This is a guy who every day of the week is going in and having gym wars. And that's just not how this game works anymore. Guys lose their chins. Guys get injured too much. Strickland has got so good, though, at avoiding damage. He can go in there and put on gym wars every day because he's probably out there just tooling everybody up. You know what I mean? So, man, I just don't know. I'm imagining Strickland, again, it's all matchup specific, but gosh, this guy's probably going to go in there and just keep touching fools up. I mean, incredible output. It doesn't really, he doesn't load up. Like I said, lightning jab, great counters. And he even showed us some grappling acumen tonight. So what is the ceiling for Sean Strickland, man? I just don't know, but I'm highly impressed, and I guess we'll just put it at that. Al, do you have anything to say, or should we crack into Bellator 263?
I just want to. It's really tough with Strickland because I feel like it's that iron sharp as iron, because like he is. It's hard to make matches for him because like he's a mainstay training partner of Marvin Vettori.
Right.
So I mean, he's not going to fight Vettori. He's not going to fight Paulo Costa because Vettori wants Costa. He also has been known to train with Khamzat Chimaev. So this guy is just going out there and fighting, you know, the outcasts, right? Like he's a hard individual, and other guys with abrasive personalities like Marvin Vettori, you know, they seem to get along, right? It's just kind of hard to make matchups for him. You know, Strickland Costa is a decent fight, but I mean, I think way too big of a step down for Costa coming off a title loss. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of interesting matchups that you can make with this guy. It's just like, but at the same time, I feel like even if he is friends with Marvin Vettori, if push came to shove, Sean Strickland would be completely fine with having to fight him, you know. And what about what's his name? Jack Hermanson. That would be that would be interesting.
That's a pretty good matchup. I got to be honest. I think Sean Strickland tunes him up. I really do. I think that's probably the matchup we're going to see, though. I think that's the one we're going to get. When you look at the rankings, I think that makes more sense than anything. Vettori Costa kind of, I'm not sure if it's like an official done deal, but from a matchmaking standpoint, I feel like that makes just tons of sense. Like you said, Vettori Strickland, main training partners, they're not going to go at it until it's literally they're the only guys left standing, and probably are going to be fighting for a potential title shot if they ever do end up going into the cage together. I think that's the look. I do. I think it's Jack Hermanson, and Hermanson better pray to God he's going to be able to get Sean Strickland down, but I don't know if he's got it in him. I think Strickland probably touches that dude up. So
one more, if Till loses to Brunson, Darren Till and Sean Strickland would just be
magical.
Such a style clash, and they'd be able to, you know, the stuff that would go on outside of the cage would be ridiculous.
You want to talk about some good trash talk and lead up to a fight? I mean, Darren Till and Sean Strickland, probably the two biggest weirdos in the game today. I mean, Darren Till's out here so offensive on social media. We're talking the guy's got police investigations being launched because he's posting memes. I mean, try to find me anybody else who's that deep into that game. Al, dude, that's a great matchup. Listen, I like either one, Derek Brunson or Darren Till against Sean Strickland. Absolute fireworks, dude. So let's I think we're out here. I think we're out here doing the UFC's work for him, man. That's the look. Here's where I'm at, though. I mean, the winner of that fight is knocking on the door to a title shot, right? So you'd probably say the loser of that fights Strickland. And man, that's no easy task. I think that's the one, man. Al, I think you nailed it, dude. Let's run with that one. I really think that's the look. We're getting that fight here in what, like a month? Maybe not even quite. Plenty of time for Strickland to take some time off, as if he needs it. Listen, I bet Sean Strickland maybe chills out tomorrow. Monday, that dude's going to be back in the gym in Vegas going to war again. That's just the type of guy he is. I truly believe that. All right, Al, that's UFC Vegas 33.